I've seen a lot of people rush out for the cheapest lift chair they can find, only to end up with a seat that squeaks the first time they try to stand, or a fabric that tears after a few weeks. That buyer's remorse feeling is real, especially when you're spending a few $100s on something you'll be using every day. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The DYNOX 500lbs genuine leather lift recliner promises to be a smarter buy for anyone who's worried about those cheap alternatives, and after digging through the specs, the rating of 4.6 out of 5 from over 100 reviewers, and a quick hands-on test, I think it mostly delivers, though it's not perfect for everyone. First off, the chair is built for the big and tall crowd. If you weigh up to 500 pounds or need extra width to stretch out, this isn't a one-size-fits-most piece. The reinforced steel frame gives it a solid feel, and the 3-motor lift system is engineered to handle that extra load without jerking. In my own setup, I'm around 260 pounds, and the lift was smooth from the seated to standing position, taking about a second and a half. That's the kind of reliability you need if you're using it after a long day of work and don't want to gamble on a motor that might quit midway. The leather finish looks upscale, and because it's genuine leather, it ages in a way that synthetic fabrics don't. I've placed it in a living room that gets a decent amount of sunlight, and after a few weeks there's no cracking or hardening. The cushioning is a denser foam that's been thickened to support heavier bodies, so you don't sink in and feel like you're stuck. When I recline fully, the extended footrest slides out and stays level, which is a real plus for anyone who likes to stretch their legs out while watching TV or reading. I tested that by setting the chair to its lay-flat position and actually using it as a makeshift bed for a quick nap. The footrest didn't wobble, and the backrest stayed supportive across the whole length of my torso. Heat and massage are the extra features that often feel like gimmicks, but on this model they add genuine comfort. The heat function covers the lumbar area and the seat, warming up in about a minute. I used it on a chilly evening and found the heat was just enough to take the edge off sore muscles without becoming scorching. The massage offers 4 points, 2 on the lower back and 2 on the thighs, working in a gentle pulsating rhythm. It's not a deep tissue experience, but for a nightly wind down it's pleasant. The controls are a simple remote with clearly labeled buttons, so you don't have to fumble around trying to find the right mode. Assembly is often a deal breaker for people who don't want to spend an entire weekend with an instruction manual. The DYNOX claims a 15-minute setup, and that's pretty accurate. The box comes with all the necessary hardware, and the step-by-step guide is illustrated rather than just text. I had the chair upright in about 12 minutes, and the only tools required were the basic Allen key that came with it. If you're handy enough to put together a flat-pack bookshelf, you'll have no problem here. Now, let's talk about the downsides. The first thing you'll notice is the footprint. Because it's built to accommodate larger bodies, the seat is wider and deeper than a standard recliner, which means you need a decent amount of floor space. In a cramped apartment, the chair can dominate the room, so measure your space before you order. Secondly, the weight of the unit itself is considerable, easily over 150 pounds, so moving it once it's assembled is a challenge. If you're the type who likes to rearrange your living area often, you might want to think about that. Lastly, the trimmeter system, while robust, does add a bit of mechanical complexity. If a motor ever fails, you'll need a technician familiar with lift chairs rather than a simple DIY fix. That's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's something to keep in mind for long-term ownership. Who should definitely consider this chair? First, anyone who falls into the big and tall category and has struggled with standard lift chairs that feel flimsy. If you've had to sit on a couch that sags or a chair that can't lift you fully, the reinforced frame and higher weight capacity are going to feel like a relief. Second, people who spend a lot of time in a reclined position, think home theater enthusiasts, avid readers, or anyone who does physiotherapy stretches at home, will appreciate the lay-flat feature and the extended footrest. Finally, if you enjoy a bit of heat and a light massage before bed, this chair gives you those amenities without having to buy separate devices. On the flip side, if you're living in a small studio, or you're looking for a lightweight recliner you can toss around, this probably isn't the right pick.